Welcome to the white belt level for the Craftsmaster Journey Dice Shooting Program. Please watch the video all the way to the end to identify what it takes to complete this introductory belt level. Remember, each step of the Craftsmaster Journey Dice Shooting Program is designed to help you become a better dice shooter at the craps table. At the beginning of the white belt program here, we're going to talk about stretches. Things that you could do at the craps table to help increase your flexibility and your dexterity of your wrists, of your arms, of your shoulders, and make it so that you have a better range of motion and you have less restrictions when you do throw the dice. But here are the stretches as we go. So we're going to start off with a stretching routine that you can use for all the different belt levels. And this stretching routine you can use before you go into the casino, or you can use it when you're standing at the craps table. The first stretch is called melt the cow. So all we're going to do is just going to take our hands and just squeeze it together, almost like you're milking a cow. So squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull. You're going to perform maybe 5, 10 of these. Just get the blood flowing into the hand. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the dexterity and the flexibility of our wrists. So the first wrist twist stretch that we're going to do is we're going to place our hand flat on the back of our throwing hand. We're going to take our index finger, drape it in between the thumb and the index finger of our throwing hand, and we're just going to wrap it in tight. Notice my thumb is up across the back here, fingers are wrapped around the thumb here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist gently, and I'm going to straighten my arm up a little bit to get a little bit more of a stretch. And now we're just stretching the wrist. Again, we'll do this about 4 or 5 times. Again, this is something you can do at the wrist at the table when you're just watching and you're waiting for your dice to come. The second stretch we're going to do is take my hand flat down, put my other hand flat on top of it, and we're going to wrap the fingers around. The back side here, now my thumb's going to go straight across the back of my hand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stretch out. So I can just sit right here, watch the table, and I can just stretch a little bit, and no one's going to know any different. The third stretch that we can do is just a gooseneck or a wrist bend down. Again, I can sit here, watch. The last wrist stretch is grabbing, putting your hand palm up, grabbing your fingers and bending them backwards. And again, we're just going to sit here and stretch our wrist out. So we're just going to extend them out and come forward. The next stretch that we can do is we're going to work our bicep in the front of our shoulders. We're just going to stand like this. So we're going to take our thumb, fold it in, place it on the edge of the craps table or the chip rail, and we're just going to push straight down into the table. And I can also turn out and stretch that bicep. So you're going to feel that stretch right through in here. And all we're going to do is just going to stretch it out. Again, this is something that we're doing at the craps table. You can do beforehand. You know, if you're watching here, just kind of like this and just do a turn. Hey, look at somebody behind me. What's going on here? You know, and the nice thing is no one's going to really know that you're doing these stretches. They can be hidden very nicely. The next one is just going to be a simple squat or minimalized squat. So let's say we sit here and just squat down a little bit. Just squat down, get a little bit of blood going through your legs. Okay, and the last one we can do is just actually just turn to our side and touch our toes. So you're going to keep your legs straight and just touch your toes as you bend forward. Remember, when you're doing the stretches, don't overstretch. Do what you're able to do without pushing yourself too far. Every time that you do your stretches, though, you're going to go into it and do a little bit further at a time. If you have concerns for health, you make sure that you consult a doctor before you start doing these stretches. That's just a liability that I have to let you guys know about. Use your best discretion when doing so. The next part of our white belt program is practicing our dice grips. Now, we want to practice each session of our white belt. And remember, there's going to be 5 sessions at the white belt level before you move to yellow belt. But we're going to practice each session 50 different times of gripping the dice. And then we're also going to do 25 drop tests. So in order to help expedite that process, you can set the dice twice and then follow that up with 1 drop test. Now, setting the dice, we're just working on trying, and I don't care what the numbers are on the dice at the time that you set it. We're just making sure that we get our fingers in the proper location. I use what's called the 3-finger front diagonal grip. Some people refer to that as the Yuri grip. Most people use the 3-finger front grip. You can use that. Check out the video card in the top right-hand corner, and I'll leave 2 different cards that will bring you to 2 different videos that I did on dice grips. And make sure you check them out so if you can find the grip that works best for you, the grip that's most comfortable for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the gripping 2 times. So we're going to go 1 and 2, and then we're going to follow that up with a drop test. So we'll do a drop test then. And that's 1 repetition. We're going to do it 25 times total. So 1 grip, 2 grip, 1 drop test. That's repetition number 2. 1 grip, 2 grip, 1 drop test. That's repetition number 3. So hopefully you get the idea that we're going to do that 25 times in a row, and that's going to be during each of the 5 sessions at white belt level. But what you're practicing is getting into your dice grips. So you're just going to get in here, get in your grip, get it set. You're just going to set it down. You're going to do that 2 times. And then we're going to get into our grip and we're going to practice a drop test. So all we're going to do is get in our grip, go up about 1 inch and just drop it. Hey, if you're finding value in these videos, make sure you give me that thumbs up. If you're not finding any value, give me that thumbs up. Please give me a reason why you're not finding value and what I could do to make these videos better. The third and final part of the white belt level is going to be setting the dice. And we're going to start off with the 5-4-5-4 hardway set, or which is considered our base set in this dice shooting program. So in order to set the dice, we're going to look for the 6, the 5, and the 4. Remember, the 6 is point on one side of the dice. The 5 is always on top. The 4 is always facing you. So if you look for 6, 5, 4, you're going to see one of those 3 numbers really fast just by looking at the dice, and you know where to rotate the dice to. So watch the video as I go through and I set 9 different dice really super fast. For setting the dice, what we're going to do is we're going to set the base set, which is our 5-4-5-4 dice set. So we have a tray here. We're just going to dump the dice out, put the tray aside, and we're just going to grab 2 dice. And what we're looking for is we're going to put the 6s on one side. So if you look, the 6s are on one side, 1s are on the other side. And we're going to go with the 5-4-5-4 dice set. So the whole goal of setting the dice is to try to get it into the set as fast as you can. So that's 1. We'll take 2 more. We'll go 6 on one side, 6 on one side, just flip it over till we get to 5, and 5 and 4. That's 2. Take another set. 6, 6, 5 and 4. That's 3. 6 is on one side. Flip it till you get to 5s. And that's 4. 6, 6. And you're going to find out that your 6s are on one side, 1s are on the other side. Opposite sides are 7s. So I like doing that so that way I can get very expedient at setting the dice. Again, the more expedient we can get at setting the dice, the better it is, because it's going to annoy a lot less people. Again, when we're doing our white belt program, we're going to set the dice 25 times every time that we go through and practice our session. Again, we have 5 sessions for white belt. As we go forward in the future belt levels, we'll be using different dice sets. But at the white belt level, we're going to stick with our base set, which is the 5-4-5-4, which is a hardway set. If you look at the hardway set, again, I'll leave a link in the top right. I'll leave a card in the top right corner that talks about that hardway base set. Now, the reason that we want to get good at setting the dice and we get good at gripping the dice is multiple reasons, actually. One, the more comfortable you can get doing that, the more comfortable you'll be doing it at the table when you're at the casino. When I first walk up to the table, I'm always super nervous for just a little bit until I get comfortable with the table. I get comfortable with the people around me. I obviously want to do well when I shoot the dice, and this is where the performance starts, by properly setting the dice and then properly putting it into a grip. The second reason you want to set the dice really fast is it helps expedite the game. The casinos want to try to get as many rolls in per hour as possible. And people that set the dice have been known at times to take a super long time of doing it. In fact, Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps talks about a casino near him that allows you 5 seconds or less to get the dice from the stick man and release it to shoot the dice towards the opposite side of the wall. And if you can do the dice setting in that time, then great. If not, they don't allow you to do so. So our goal should be trying to set the dice within 5 to 10 seconds of receiving it from the stick man. I think if you can do that in most casinos, they won't say anything and they'll be good to go. The next reason that you want to learn how to set the dice properly and grip them efficiently is that way you can help minimize any irritation or aggravation by other people. Setting the dice is a very unpleasant thing. It's a thing that's not very welcome by some people at the craps table. They don't believe that you can influence the dice as you're shooting. They think everything's completely random, which it may be, and that's what this journey is all about, trying to determine how we can set the dice, how we can influence them, and how we can hopefully get better results on a more consistent basis. To recap the white belt level, we're going to be doing this for 5 total sessions. During each session, you're going to start with your stretches, and then you're going to perform 50 gripping attempts. And with these 50 attempts, you're going to work in 25 drop tests, and this is to ensure a light grip on the dice. We're also going to end each session with setting the 5-4-5 hardway set at least 25 times. For more information about our Craftsmaster Journey Dice Shooting Program, hey, click on the video on the right-hand side there. My name is Joe, and this is my Craftsmaster Dice Shooting Journey. Let's make it yours too.